Hello guys, welcome back to the podcast. It's your host Daniel Cisco here. This is episode number 2. I hope you guys enjoy, and we're going to hop right into it. I got a few topics I think you guys will find are pretty interesting, so let's hop right in. Alright guys, so to start off the show, I'm going to start with some Villanova versus UNC talk. You've probably heard a lot of it, but I'm just going to kind of recap the game, and I'm going to ask a few questions to myself, and I'm going to answer them the best I feel I can. So first, the recap. The game was tied. Villanova was up 3 points with I forgot the exact time. It was like 4.7 seconds, something like that. Marcus Paige goes down the court, hits an amazing shot. If you haven't seen that, then you were probably living underneath a rock. But Marcus Paige hit an amazing shot that tied up the game. Villanova had 4.7 seconds, somewhere in that range, to get it down the court, make a shot to win the game. So they got the ball down court. Archie, I guess that's what they call him, Archie, had the ball in his hand and he passed it off to Kris Jenkins. Kris Jenkins at the top of the arc hits the buzzer-beating 3 to win the national championship. Great finish, but we're going to get to that later. That was an absolutely amazing finish. But like I said, we will get to that a little bit later. So that's the recap of the game. And the only reason North Carolina was even in that game was because of their 3-point shooting. Just look at this stat. 11 of 17 from 3 for the game. They shot 64.7% from 3. That is the only reason they were in that game. If they didn't make any of those threes, there was no ball game. No ball game at all. And then, yeah, because their 2-point percentage was 42% and they were shooting 64% from 3. That's the only reason they were in that game. Nova just shot the ball well all around. Nova had less turnovers. They had 10. Nova had a better 2-point field goal percentage at 58%, which is like second best all time in the tournament for a single game. But Nova did get out-rebounded. You could definitely see the height advantage that UNC had throughout the whole game. You could see it was a big issue for Nova, but it was more so the beginning of the game, I should say that. It wasn't really the whole game. Ochefu really shut down the paint, honestly. Like, Villanova's zone, I don't even know what to call it, what they were playing. It was like some weird zone. I don't know if it was a 2-3 or whatever. But it was almost impossible for UNC to get any penetration at all, which is why I think Nova won the game. The only reason it was even close is because of the 3-point shooting. But the first question I want to ask is, was that the best national championship game of all time? Now, I'm a youngin'. I haven't seen very many national championships. To me, that was the best one I've ever seen. Ending on a buzzer beater, it couldn't get any better than that. Overall, a great finish. Great finish. Like, I wasn't a fan of either team. Neither team. I don't have feelings for either of them, except North Carolina, because I'm an Arkansas fan. They beat us last year, but I won't get into that. I don't like North Carolina. But overall, I was a pretty neutral viewer in this, and whenever they hit that shot, oh my gosh, I was standing up. I was yelling. Man, it was a big-time shot, and even if you weren't a fan, it was a very exciting game to watch. The next question I want to ask was Villanova the best team in the tournament this year, or did they just have a lucky run? I think they were the best team. And I think there's no question. I think I saw ESPN impose this question whenever I was watching it a few nights ago, and I just think this is the dumbest thing I've probably ever heard in my life. Are they the best team in the tournament, or did they have a lucky run? That doesn't make any sense at all. From game 1 to the national championship, they played well all around. I don't even get why people are saying they're not the best team in the tournament. They by far are. They play their roles. They don't have the biggest lineup. They don't have the best shooters. They don't have any of that. They play their roles so well that it made them the best team. Their team isn't necessarily even gifted athletically. Their best athlete is Ochefu, and he was a big deal during the game, but not throughout the whole tournament. It was their guard. Their guard play is absolutely amazing. They run 2 point guards pretty much. It's just great ball control, great ball movement overall, just a great coaching job too. Okay, now moving into some MLB baseball. I'm going to give you my prediction for the NL Central, just because I am a Cardinal fan. If you guys didn't know that, I'm a Razorback fan and I am a Cardinal fan. And I'm going to give you my NL predictions. It is not looking very promising for my Cardinals. Okay, so sitting in first by the end of the season, I think sitting in first will by far be the Cubs. And then next, I have the Pirates. Then I have the Cardinals. Then I have the Reds. Then I have the Brewers. So, and that's in the order. That's in the order. I think the Cardinals are going to come in third. It's hard for me to say that because I'm such a big Cardinal fan, but it's not looking very good. I'm making this 3 games into the season. The Cubs are sitting at 3-0. Reds are at 3-0. I don't know who they played. The Pirates are at 3-0. Brewers are at 1-2, and the Cardinals are at 0-3. That 0-3 doesn't really haunt me too much just because it's a 162 game season. But yeah, it's not going to look very good for the Cardinals this season. I don't know if it's the pitching or the offense or it's just a multitude of things. We need to be more consistent with our pitching and offense at the same time. It feels like sometimes when our pitching is very good, we have no offense. When our offense is really good, we have no pitching. And it's been that way. It was kind of like that last year. We had really good pitching, but our offense wasn't there. So yeah, I think Cardinals coming in third, Pirates in second, and Cubs in first. And that is my MLB Central, National League Central predictions. Moving on to NCAA men's basketball, I'm going to stick with the SEC. I'm going to see if the question that I'm trying to get by right now is Arkansas predictions for the 2017 season. Can they get it back to the top anytime soon? By soon, I mean in the next, 4 years, somewhere around there. So my predictions for 2017, I think we are going to make the tournament. I don't know what seed we could be. I think it will be anywhere from the 8 to 5 range. But we have the Arkansas Razorback basketball has 2 JUCO All-Americans and then another big guy, power forward, in Orlando Cook, who is also a very, very good JUCO player. All 3 of those guys are ranked in the top 5 of the JUCO player rankings for 2016 recruiting class. So if they live up to the hype, especially those 2 guards that we have coming in that are JUCO All-Americans, actually, if they live up to the hype, then Arkansas should be in pretty good shape. They went 9-9 in conference play, but despite a 16-16 overall record, which is not very good, especially after going 27-9 last year and being a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. We did not make postseason play this year, but I do expect us to return to the NCAA tournament next year. So that's my prediction for the 2017 season. Now for the next question, can they get back to the top? The answer to that question is very, very complicated. There's so many moving parts that fit into that question that have to all be going at the same time. We have to have recruiting, we have to have coaching, and we have to have great fans that show up to the games to make home games actually an advantage. The past year was not very good for attendance, and we were selling tickets, but people were not going to the games, so that's a really downside of that. But can they make it to the top in the next 2, 3, 4 years? I see no problem in us doing that. To the top, I don't mean winning a national championship. I'm not predicting us to win a national championship in that time, but will we make the NCAA tournament consistently and as a high seed? And by high, I mean like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, somewhere around there. And I think, yes, we could do it. It's a matter of recruiting 100% because Mike Anderson, he's a good coach on the floor, but his recruiting has kind of been slacking here. We haven't had the class, besides the past 2 classes, both been in the top 25, our recruiting has not been very good. So if we can pick up the recruiting a little bit, which we did this year, I'm actually really surprised. We have a really good class coming in this year. If we pick that up and we play at a high level on the court in SEC play and at home, we need to make sure to win those home games. We have 4 losses at home. We're 13-4 at home this year, and that is just horrible. We also need to get better on the road. 3-8 on the road, not very good. That is one of the lowest marks in the SEC, and we really need to improve upon that. In 2015 season, the 2014-2015 season, we were actually pretty good on the road. We beat a lot of teams, a lot of good teams on the road. And if we can do that next year, then we're in very good shape because most of the time, this is a weird year. We've been losing at home a lot more, but most of the time we are unstoppable at home. So if we can get back to being unstoppable at home, get those recruits to play at a high level like they're supposed to, develop them nicely to where they get better every year, then we should be in very, very good shape to make the NCAA tournament every single year. I think Mike Anderson is doing a very good job, and all he needs to do is keep it up for a few more years, and we will be back to the top. All right, guys, that is going to do it for the show this week. Let me know what you guys think about me uploading more podcasts throughout the week. If you guys enjoy these, just let me know. And if you're listening to this on SoundCloud, make sure you give me a follow and go subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on YouTube, give me a subscribe and then go follow my SoundCloud. Those two coincide with each other, help me grow. Thanks for coming out, guys. I will see you next week. See ya.